All right, so the only thing I've done so far is I have sewn the two pieces together with right sides together, and I've sewn the elastic around the edges of the leg holes. I've also left a little opening in what I would consider more like the lining piece or the side that I'm not going to use as often because these are reversible. So the next step to do after you've sewn in the elastic is to just turn them inside out, and then we'll line up the side seams and stitch those next. So you open it up just like that, and we'll sew down the side seams. All right, now we've sewn the two side seams together. I'm going to take and place a pin in the center front and of the main fabric and the center front of the lining, just to remind myself of which two pieces those are. Then I'm going to flip it over so the back pieces are up, and I'm going to roll all of this up like a little tight burrito. And then what I'm going to do is find that center front of the main where I put my pin, and the center front of the lining where I put my pin, and put them with right sides together and pin that together right there. And then I can take and pin in a few more places up to about the point where the side seams are. So maybe right there, then maybe another halfway to that point. And this is where I'm going to start sewing. So everything is tucked inside, just like that. And I've got everything inside in between the front and the front pieces. So I've stuck this piece in here, and I've sewn so far just a little bit, and I'm getting to a point where I'm almost to the side seam, and I keep all that stuff in there. So once you get to that point and you have no more room, you have to kind of grab a hold of this, and you just need to start pulling it through this little channel that you're creating. So continue to pull just a little ways. Oh, that's about as far as I can go for now. And then continue to sew. Here's our side seams. We're going to make sure we match those up. Make sure everything stays tucked inside. Match up the side seams. And continue to sew around. Just pull it through. And there you can see we've got center back to center back. It's coming together nicely. Keep pulling through. You'll get to your second side seam. Make sure that stays lined up. And you got to keep pulling it through. And pretty soon you're going to get to back to the place that you started, which actually is right there. You'll see that's where I'd started. And I guess the key here is just to keep pulling it through and make sure you keep everything tucked in and you're not sewing over it. Alright, so now I'm going to go and I'm going to finish putting the waistband elastic, and I'm going to use my sewing machine on a zigzag stitch. So I just start it, for me it was easy to start it right where the side seam is, and I just put that elastic in there, put it across there, stretch it as you go. You've got your marks. You're still going to have to pull through the channel. And keep pulling it through. There's my center point mark that comes up here with the center of the pant or the bottoms. And just continue all the way around like this. matching up your side seams with your quarter marks on your elastic. All right, so I've just stitched, and I just used my sewing machine and I zigzagged the elastic around the waist, and it's still kind of inside of itself, so I could be pulling it through. So now the last step here, or almost last step, is to grab a hold of that little hole that you left in the crotch seam, and just reach through there and start pulling it right sides out. Just like that. And ta-da! You have your reversible scoop bottoms. So you gotta kind of fidget a little bit with it and get it to lay flat, and which you can. Just kind of mess with it a little bit. You can go back now and you can lay everything nice and flat, and you can top stitch if you want. But I like just to leave it as it is. The only other thing you have left to do is go back with a sewing machine or a hand needle and ladder stitch that together and close it up. If you don't ever plan on wearing them actually reversible, you could probably just pinch it and stitch it across on your sewing machine. But the correct thing to do would be to get a needle and thread and close it up with your needle and thread. And that's it. That's the scoop bottoms.